So if you have an opportunity to do 50 megawatts, then you would rather go from 50 megawatts than to spend the same energy for 10 megawatts.
Something you said that that government is still largely running the sector. But some people, government will tell you that's not true. We've largely privatized the sector. Generation is largely out of our hands. Distribution is largely out of our hands. What we run is transmission. So how would you still say that government is largely in control of the sector?
You see, like I made mention, all the power generation subsectors have two components. For hydro, you can't do hydro without the main reservoir, which reserves the water for you to operate during the dry season between October to May. And having such dam is an exclusive right of the federal government. So that is number one.
That is in the area of hydro.
Yes, in the areas of hydro. Let's come to coal. Coal, you have to mine the coal before you go into the coal power generation. If you now say, okay, let the investors in the coal power generation do the mining and also do the power generation, nobody may be able to afford the power that they sell.
Why?
Because of expense of doing the mining. You add the cost of doing the mining to the cost of doing the power generation on its own.
How did it work before?
Most of the coal was used for train locomotive. This thing, it wasn't really in the magnitude that we are thinking of now.
We did hear the president. Fortunately, he's ill now. We did hear him in just that soundtrack when he said that we're going to harness coal and try to use it as part of our energy source. Would that be a misplaced priority now if we have to look at coal?
No, I don't think so. I think the Western world is discouraging the usage of coal because of the ozone layer, the
depletion.
Depletion. But we need power. We need power, and whichever way we can get power, because 80 or 90% of our development is pivoted on power supply.
But it will be too expensive. And it will be too expensive to sell that kind of power.
That's why I'm saying, just like the gas, it is not the most cases. It is not the power, the thermal plants that own the gas fields.
So business yours.
So somebody mines the gas or produces the gas. You buy the gas from him, and then you set up your thermal plant. Somebody sets up the dam, and I do the power generation and the transmission line onto the national grid. Somebody mines the coal, and then the coal mining the coal power generation company buys the coal and generate electricity.
So businesses like yours, who does hydro and possibly, if we go into coal and gas, are very likely to be on the losing side in this situation because you're looking at other sources. Say solar, for instance, wind. Where does that place the focus now, the priority for government?
You see, that's why I have always advocated for hydro, in the sense that we have good knowledge of hydro. For solar, wind, you see, there are no. You don't have to pay for the wind. You don't have to pay for the sunshine. You don't have to pay for the water that is used for power generation. I mean, these are given by God. And so there's no operational cost. But then if you come to thermal, which is, you have to buy the gas, and you come to coal, you have to buy the coal, then it adds to the cost of the tariff that would be passed over to the ultimate consumers, and Nigerians will say no, that the prices of this power is too high, this, that. The major problem in any business, Mokwe, is ability to get back your revenue. And the most effective way of revenue collection, to the best of my knowledge, is telecommunication. When once it finishes like this, bam, the thing finishes, and you have to go and recharge or you don't talk. But in power, it is not like that. So the discourse are going through a hell of a time.
Even with the prepaid metering option?
Believe me, a lot of...
but if it finishes, we can't use energy.
No, but most of them, most of people tamper with these meters as well.
But they have ways of ensuring that that is checked.
Let me use a crude the Nigeria, this thing. They said the man who made a pencil also made the eraser. The person who put the meter there understands what to do. That's the thing. There's a lot of pilfering going, and that's what the major problem that discos are going through.
If you look at the discos, there's
Yes.
been several views about the discos, but one of the recent ones coming from the ministry is that they do not have exclusivity over distribution areas. When you heard that, is that part of the deal?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, Chamberlain, I was partly involved in the... I tried to join my resources with one of the bidders of the 11 discos, and these things were properly geographically defined. I mean, you bid for this, take for instance, Jos Electricity Distribution Company controls Benue, Plateau, Bauchi, and Gombe. But then inside Jos Electricity Distribution Company, there had been a company in existence called Nigerian Electricity Supply Company, NESCO, that had been generating electricity since 1919. So they have the power, well, I hope I'm not disclosing anybody's business, this thing, but they have the license for generation, transmission, and distribution. And I know of Geometrics in Aba that also had power licenses for power generation and power distribution. Now, the confusion is, to the best of my knowledge, those were the two companies that have licenses to have, what do you call it now, distribution capabilities. Now, you came and sold power distribution in Jos Electricity Distribution Company to another company. And here is NESCO having another distribution license within that geographical area. My understanding of the bill was that when the license for NESCO expires, it will collapse into the owners of Jos Electricity Distribution Company. Now, these two companies would sit down and work an arrangement on the structure of existing distribution. Maybe NESCO can become a director in Jos Electricity Distribution, but my understanding of the privatization was that these 3 states or 4 states are exclusively for Jos Electricity Distribution Company.
All right, we'll explore some of the other angles to this when we return. Join us again.